This is the Daily Thunder podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Woods. I'm in the away darks today, and I'm here with Brandon Rahbar, Daily Thunder beat writer. Brandon, how are you tonight?
I am good, man. I'm in the dark browns tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So are you changing or am I changing? Maybe we can maybe we'll cut halfway through this
Yeah.
podcast and one of us will change. If the Thunder were going to wear the orange, the blues, the whites, or no jerseys, it did not matter. They were winning this game tonight.
Well, first of all, you're the host of this thing, so I think that means that you're going to have to be the one that changes shirts.
It's a good point. It's a road game for you, so
Yes,
you probably you don't have a change of clothes.
I'm literally on the road doing this. Yeah, so this is a road podcast for me.
road show for you.
I told Ryan that we needed to do it on the way home because my wife is waiting for me, waiting up to watch WandaVision. So I got to have the podcast in the books by the time I walk into the door. So
that's Thunder fans. That's a little behind the curtain look at our night tonight.
Yeah.
And just so if you were ever doubting if Brandon has his priorities straight, WandaVision on a Friday night with the wife is always going to be at the top of the list.
Absolutely. Although I guess technically it was second on the list because I did go to the Thunder game and make her wait in the first place.
It's semantics, semantics.
So wife and WandaVision come second and third. I won't say which order after the Thunder.
Okay, so tonight I want to start a little differently than we usually do. I want to start with the opponent. Atlanta stinks.
Yeah, man, I had a feeling coming in because I've been watching Atlanta because they've been hovering around where the Thunder are record-wise, which is not supposed to be the case. They went all in to help Trae Young out to give him a playoff roster. I mean, they already have John Collins, who's going to be a max player. They got Trae Young, who's, an all-star. Then they went out and got Danilo Gallinari. They got Clint Capella. They've got, of course, one of the Bogdans, but he's hurt right now.
Of the Bogdans.
But, I mean, they've got a roster of players, Rajon Rondo. They should not be this bad. Now, the problem is it's all offense. They don't really have any defenders. And, if they play a decent defense or a team that's, pretty good offensively as well, then it can go bad for them. They're not well constructed. They have talent, but, it just shows that both the Hawks and the Mavs are teams that have a ton of offense and some good names, but they are not constructed properly. And that can bite you. We saw it tonight.
They are a great example for Oklahoma City fans, a team that seemed to cash in their chips like way too early, right?
Yeah, I think that they did. This is the thing. Sam Presti's going to be patient. He's got all these assets, and you see teams like Atlanta, they do that. They're like, oh, we got a young stud in Trae Young, and I get it. I get the temptation. They've been bad for a while. They got a star. They want to please him. But when you spend all your salary cap money, use all your assets to bring some guys in, I mean, it better work, because if not, all of a sudden your assets are dried up. You're in no man's land to where you're not going to get, a top 5 pick in the draft, but you also don't have any money to go out and get any free agents or any assets to trade for another star. So what are they going to do going forward? I don't see how they really improve that much. I mean, yeah, you hope that Reddish gets better, but I mean, there's already a ceiling on this team unless a drastic change happens. I just don't see them being a contender anytime soon. And that's not what the Thunder are going to do. That's what's great. Presti's thinking ahead, and I trust him to make smart decisions with all these assets that he has, including his best asset, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
For sure. And so the last 3 years, they picked 6 in this past draft. Their rookie has only played 12 games. And then they drafted, 10. They got Reddish at 10. They traded Luka Doncic. They traded his pick to get Trae Young. That's one way to do business. Let's go to Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. You mentioned him just now. Another stellar game. Didn't get a chance to talk to you after his career high. The game, I don't know. In the last week, the game looks even slower for him. He looks even more confident getting to the basket. It almost looks like he now gets there whenever he wants. Uh, just crazy levels on offense for Shea. And it showed again tonight.
He's one of the best offensive players in the league. It sounds crazy to say, 22 years old, his third year, but he really is. When you look at the numbers, he is elite in so many categories. Scoring the ball, he does it so efficiently, and he sets up his teammates so well. He doesn't get the most assists in the world, but that's just because a lot of his teammates aren't knocking down the shots that he sets up. But it's funny. It took him not making the All-Star game for him to finally get some recognition. Some of that because he scored 42 points the other night, but I mean, 538 ran like a full blown Shea hype article. The Athletic ranked him the number 6 best young prospect, and that means on a rookie contract in the NBA. He was right above Trae Young and right below Donovan Mitchell. If you want to know like what kind of stratosphere they're putting him in,
Yeah.
and they talked about how he's improving, like he can improve that even more. The only guys ahead of him were Luka, Tatum, Bam, Zion, and like I said, Mitchell. I mean,
It's
that's
unbelievable.
every single guy ahead of him has made the All-Star game,
Yep.
and you can argue that Shea's already better than a couple of those guys. I mean, Shea, what he's doing is special. Like tonight, you mentioned he scored 24 points. Hardly even notice it. He just
Yeah.
does it so quietly. He does it so easily. Looks like he's just kind of skipping along,
Yeah. Yeah.
not breaking a sweat, smiling, high fiving the opponent. I mean, he's just so laid back, chill, and smooth. And then you look up and he's got 30 on like 4 shots.
He had 24 tonight, was a +8 in the box score, and only took 16 shots, like 9 of 16, shot 56% from the floor, 3 of 5 from 3. That's 60%. Missed one free throw out of 4. So he just does things so efficiently. He does a good job moving the ball around. But tonight, the burden of getting the ball around and getting these assists was not on him tonight. Teo Maledon matches Russell Westbrook's rookie record for assists in a game at 12. What a night from him. He had 13 points, 12 assists in 34 minutes. Just such a flow to the starting unit, which consists of 0 players over the age of 24. They had such a flow with Dort, Baisley, Roby, Maledon, and Gilgeous-Alexander. Unbelievable what they're getting from them. 4 of 9 from 3 from Dort. Uh, where is Baisley? There he is. 8 of 12 from the floor for 18 points to go with 12 rebounds. Like Baisley had an awesome night. He had a really, really tough sequence there with the 2 missed free throws and then the turnover. That led to a dunk and then a timeout. He was so frustrated going to the bench. And then he comes back with that drive to the bucket and a dunk. It was like his third really, really awesome dunk of the night.
Yeah.
Forces an Atlanta timeout, kind of ends the game. And the reception he got, not just from the guys on the floor, but every person on that Oklahoma City bench, coaches, players, everyone, was so wholesome. I know that's a weird word to use, but like it was so fun to watch them just embrace Baisley and be like, "Hey, that's that's the NBA. One play can change you can change your entire night on one play. Like don't get so down on yourself." It's such a great lesson for Baisley. We've been talking about it looks like Baisley's in his head all year long. And when it looks like he just plays within the flow of the offense, and lets things just happen for him because given his size and his athleticism, the game is going to come to him whether he wants it to or not. His opportunities will come, and he did a great job tonight of attacking the rim and punishing John Collins. Like it was incredible. He did a great job.
Yeah, I think that reaction from the bench, his teammates, his coaches, was less about the dunk. Obviously, that was a big part of it, and more about, like you said, he's just kind of been down on himself. You can tell from his body language and his play on the court that he hasn't been happy with how he's played,
Mm-hmm.
and it's affected how he's played. It's a snowball effect. And I think that was like a moment for the team to embrace and see, like, yes, I mean, to get him hyped and encourage him, not just for the dunk, but just moving forward, just his attitude, his confidence, I should say, not his
Yeah.
attitude. So it was a wholesome moment. This is 2 nights in a row we got these like pure wholesome togetherness moments from the Thunder. One with the Lou Dort game winner, and then tonight with the Darius dunk. I was real happy for Darius, and honestly, confidence is a big thing in a young player, and if that can help shift his game moving forward, we've seen the flashes. We know he's talented. We know he has a special skill set for his size and his body. If he can put it all together, I mean, he's a huge X factor for the Thunder's next era of basketball. He can either be a role player like he is right now, he could flame out, or he could put it all together and be a special part of this core moving forward.
We got to talk about Ty Jerome. It's
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Holy cow. He comes from the blue. I think coach talked about it right after the game, essentially got hurt an hour into training camp. Had zero start to the season. Has to rehab a badly sprained ankle. Then they send him to the blue to get some time to get in game shape. Obviously looks good there. He's playing against lesser competition. Gets the call up and plays 22 minutes tonight in his debut, or as Michael Cage would say, debut. He's saying debut really weird tonight. He said it like 4 or 5 times. I didn't even do it justice. Ty Jerome, 9 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. Another incredible ball mover and playmaker off the bench. There was no Hami tonight. And was that injury related? I missed if he was
Yeah,
ruled out for a reason.
right groin soreness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was out for a reason. I was wondering, like, did Ty just take all of Hami's minutes in an instant? So Ty Jerome, 22 minutes tonight, only took 7 shots, hit 1 3 out of 3 attempts, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, was kind of everywhere, and the ball moved so well when he was in the game. Between he and Maladon, they fed off each other so well. It looked like they had been playing together for weeks.
Yeah, I was saying that I'm excited about the Ty and Teo show. They instant chemistry, like you said. The thing about them, they're both combo guards with playmaking ability, and they can both shoot. Both decent size to run the 1 or the 2, and they're both solid enough defenders at a young age where they can survive. I'm excited about those two. I was saying it, and I know, I'm excited about a lot of these guys, but you see it. The thing with Ty Jerome is everybody forgot about him because he's been hurt all season. And then he went to the blue, so he's kind of like the forgotten core member. But he was a first-round draft pick last year. He was taken 1 spot after Darius Baisley. He won a championship at Virginia. He was a part of the Chris Paul trade, and I think because, the first-round draft pick obviously is the attention grabber. That's the main thing there. But then Kelly Oubre, he's a sexy name and a sexy guy. Then and then Ricky Rubio, sexy name, sexy guy. So Ty Jerome was kind of the duckling of this trade, both physically and literally.
Yeah.
Physically and figuratively, I should say.
I hope his mom doesn't listen to this. She would probably disagree.
I said literally. No, Ty Jerome's Ty Jerome, Mom, if Mrs. Jerome, if you're listening, Ty is a very nice looking young gentleman. But even you have to admit, compared to Kelly and Ricky, I mean, come on, Mrs. Jerome.
Oh my god. I mean, yeah. I
let's
mean,
let's be let's be honest.
I think she's gonna be a little too biased for for your sentiments. The but yeah, like I love the fact that Presti got him in this deal because instantly we were looking at Kelly Oubre and Ricky Rubio. Those were
Right.
like the wow, they got not only did they get a first, those they got those two players and what could they potentially become down the line. And we didn't have to wait very long to find out what they could become. They were gone in an instant. I don't even think they took photos in a uniform. And
No, they were photo shots
yeah,
basically.
exactly. So Ty Jerome is involved with the deal, and like you're saying, he was a first round pick last year. That's almost like getting another first in the trade
Oh, yeah,
to get
absolutely.
such a young prospect. Um, so yeah, that's he's very exciting, and now I'm gonna really change the mood here for a second and say this team has no chance at a at bottoming out. They're too good. And we've said that many times, but I'm done being duped. I'm
Yeah.
done being fooled into, well, they lost 3 out of 4. Who cares? They're winning 3 out of 4 right after that. Like they're too good and with Ty Jerome, Kenrich Williams, and then staggering Shea and Teo and then Hami off the bench with Muscala, forget about it. They are going to be they're already down to 9. They were like 5th a week ago. They're down to 9. Houston can't stop losing. Miami can't stop winning. It's been a rough week.
It has been a very rough week for the 2021 draft, which is what we were almost excited about coming into this season. I mean, with between OKC winning, Houston losing, and Miami winning, and then these other bottom teams will just refuse to win. They're like all on like double-digit loss streaks. It's
Mm-hmm.
been brutal. There may have to be some luck for the Thunder to get a top 5 guy. Here's the deal, Ryan. They won tonight without Al Horford, George Hill, or Hamidou Diallo.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's unreal.
Horford and Hill are supposed to be their second and third best player. Every single one of their players tonight were in their 20s. Hamidou Diallo has been their best bench player. They still won. They incorporated a guy who's been hurt or with the blue all season. Comes in just seamlessly, puts up points and assists and rebounds. This team plays smart. They play hard. They play with a lot of effort. And they're led by a guy now who is an all-star, whether he was voted in or not, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, because he's playing better than half of the guards ahead of him that were actually picked for the game.
And
So they are too good. You know, we have been talking about it for a long time. We said this a while ago, and I think we were kind of – some people probably thought we were being ridiculous, maybe being homers by saying that the Thunder were too good to tank because you look at the net rating and all those things, but you see it night after night. And especially when they play teams who are in the lottery, they're beating all those teams.
yeah.
I mean, the only way they'll lose to those teams are those nights that they sit Shea and Horford and, you know, they tell Dort, you know, go guard the worst player. I mean, this team and Daignault deserves a lot of credit here.
Yes. Yes.
This team is playing above their heads. Every single one of the guys, it's just like maximum effort and maximum every bit of talent being squeezed out. And that's a testament to the coach, to the team. It's just think if there were fans in the stands.
I know.
Thunder's home crowd is a big advantage as well. They don't even have that going for them this year. Most of their losses have been at home. So as far as the draft picks go, I expect them obviously to trade Hill, maybe Muscala and Ariza. Of course, that doesn't matter. Ariza, they haven't even been playing with Ariza either. They might be trading Diallo and Horford as well if they can. They'll definitely be able to find one for Diallo if they want to, and then they may try to flip Horford just because he's helping winning too much.
Yeah. Yeah. And at this point, like that's the only move that can be made, and I still don't know if it'll be enough. Like you're saying, they're winning with whoever they put on the floor. And what a weird it's just so weird. Like they outclassed Atlanta. Like at no point, I'll just speaking for me watching on TV, I never once during that game thought Atlanta was gonna win. Not once.
Me neither. Me neither. They OKC looked like the better team. And this is a team with Trae Young, John Collins, Capella, Gallinari. I mean, on
They're
paper,
paying
Atlanta
They're paying so much for that team.
Yes, and OKC is paying pennies for their team, and the only guys making any money at all were all sitting at home tonight. I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, when you look at the salaries that were on the court, you're looking at like a nickel versus a $10 bill. It was insane. Uh, yeah, this team. Here's the deal for people thinking like, okay, but yeah, this team isn't making the playoffs. There's a big difference though between being too good to tank and not being good for the playoffs. You're kind of stuck in this no man's land where you might be have the 10th or 11th worst record, even if 8th to 10th best or worst record. You're not getting one of those top 5 guys most likely, and those are the blue chip elite guys. And that's who you tank for. You don't tank for the number 8 overall pick. You tank for the number 1 to 5 overall pick and try to get a superstar in the making. That's what we mean by too good to tank.
Yeah, exactly. And right now they're what exactly what Brandon just described is one of the worst places to be in the entire league, and that is the middle. And right now, Oklahoma City is putting a team out there that is right there in the middle. They are 2 games out of 10th. That's where Memphis is, and Dallas. They're tied. LOL at Dallas.
Yeah.
So they're 2 games out of the what will be considered the play-in. That doesn't mean they're going to make the playoffs. That doesn't mean they won't be in the lottery, but they would have a chance to play into a playoff series. Now,
Yeah.
and real quick, they're 2 games out of 10th. They are 7 games ahead of Minnesota. They're still just 2 games ahead of Houston, who've lost 10 in a row. They lost their 10th in a row tonight at Toronto. They can't stop losing. And honestly, good for them. Their pick is that pick is 1 through 4 protected. They have every incentive to go to the bottom, and they're doing that. So good on them. Wish they would get Christian Wood back and start winning games. Sacramento got their first win in 10 games tonight. They beat Detroit on the road by 3. So, yeah, like there are teams that are doing this. They are doing the most when it comes to tanking, and Oklahoma City is not a part of that group. They are kind of stuck in that middle ground right now.
Yes, absolutely. And like you said, that is the worst place to be. Now, I will say for OKC, it's been more fun than being in the middle should be because everybody is exceeding expectations. When you expect to be the worst, like everyone predicted the Thunder to be the worst team in the league. So to be in the middle, that's kind of exciting because it's the young guys doing it. So that's promising for the future. It's promising for Shea and Dort and Maladone and all those guys. But ultimately, when the season ends, that's not where you want to be.
Totally. And how do you drastically improve the team, especially in a market like Oklahoma City, without those top picks? And if they're, there we have a long way to go. By no means is it written, but this is why there are a lot of fans in Oklahoma City that are wanting them to lose games, because that is the quickest way to improve the team, is have the best odds at those guys, because like we've talked about, there is a clear top 5 in this class.
Yep.
It is so clear. They like if you asked 100 scouts who will be the 6th pick in the draft, you might get 20 different names right now.
Yep.
There is no consensus at all past those top 5. Those top 5 guys are elite. It really is crazy. Just the huge gap between 5 and 6. So having one of those top 5 guys, or having one of those top 5 picks, you're at the table now, and you get to go get you get to go get one of those guys. And with the assets Oklahoma City has, if they were to get the 5th pick, who's to say they couldn't move up and get their pick of guys? I don't think anybody's going to trade the first pick, um, I've been harping on it all year. These wins are costly. Do they have benefits to the guys on the team right now? Sure. I'm sure that it does. I'm sure they do have a lasting impact on the development of these players, especially the young guys. They are who are winning these games. It's not Horford. It's not George Hill out here carrying this team. the young guys are developing and playing well enough to win games and beat teams that are way ahead of them as far as their timeline. So good on them. These wins help them. But to drastically improve this team, it's going to take better players than you're going to get most likely in that like 10 to 14 range, especially in the class coming up.
Yeah, the top five is just on their own level, and you want to pair up Shea with somebody on a rookie deal who the team will have, control over for the next 8 years, because it sets up your next era of Thunder basketball. If you can get a guy like Cunningham, Mobley, Kuminga, Suggs, or Green to go with Shea, and then Dort and Maladone and Jerome and all the guys that you're going to put around them, Baisley, and then Mobley, just for lack of just throwing somebody out there. Then you can build around those two guys. You can get role players. You can get free agents. Maybe you use some of those assets and draft picks to trade for a star. All of a sudden, you have a three-headed monster between Shea, then a cheap rookie contract, and then another star. There's so many different ways. It starts with getting another young guy to go with Shea. Like, Dort is really nice, and I'm excited about Dort, but he's not on that Shea, Kuminga, Cade Cunningham level who's can be a superstar on both ends of the court and, be a true difference maker. He can be a really nice guy to put along those guys, though. So, that's why this draft is so important, because the Thunder only have a couple of shots, because Shea's getting so good. It's going to be hard to tank again with him performing like a superstar. You got this really loaded draft at the top. You've got a few shots in this draft to get a top guy, maybe trade up for a top guy. And then you have the 2022 draft. And then after that, the Thunder are probably competing against. They really need a top guy this year.
And to bring it back to tonight's game, look at Atlanta. Like they are such an example of what Oklahoma City is trying not to be. A team that is trying to lose games. They like one of the players they have, but they're trying to get another guy in the draft to pair with Trey, and I'm not going to say they've completely whiffed, because time will tell, but as you're seeing, they're not quite good enough they're not improving at a rate to make the playoffs consistently, but they're not bad enough to completely bottom out, which is why you see them going out and spending money, because they felt that this is our chance to improve the team, and we're gonna have to spend to do it, because we haven't been able to do it yet through the draft. So it's a tough place to be in the NBA, where Atlanta is, and I think that's a place that Oklahoma City wants to avoid. But they've got a ton of young talent. They've got a ton of assets down the pipeline. So who knows? Like, there's so much time. Like, it really is overwhelming to think about, like, how far these future picks like stretch out. So like, it's really impossible for us. Like, it's very unprecedented. So for fans, it's hard to wrap our minds around, like, it's almost like trying to wrap your head around like the distance between like planets. You know what I mean? Like, our brain doesn't work in that level of time and space. So like, we have a huge amount of time between now and when all of these draft picks will be realized. So like you're saying, Presti's going to be very patient, and we're just gonna have to wait and see. But for tonight, Oklahoma City played a whale of a game. These young guys are so fun to watch, and it really is fun to watch them just completely take teams by surprise, especially a team like Atlanta or like San Antonio, teams that are like, they're better than Oklahoma City on paper, and then they play Oklahoma City, and tonight, at least, Atlanta was just completely outclassed.
Well, watch out for the Nuggets tomorrow night, because, on paper, they're better. They got Jokic, they got Michael Porter Jr., they got Jamal Murray, but they've actually underperformed this year. They haven't been as good as they were last year. And OKC gets Al Horford back tomorrow night. If that was some strategic tanking, I was like really impressed with Presti or Daignault or whoever, and they said it could have very well been, the doctor saying this would be better, to rest on the first night and play on the second night. I feel like it was like, hey, let's rest Horford against the Hawks. That's the more winnable game. It'll help us lose, and then we play the Nuggets, and it won't matter because the Nuggets will probably win anyways with Horford back. And now they risk winning both games instead of losing both games.
Yeah, it is wild. It's exactly what we talked about. Remember with Cleveland and Miami back to back, we wanted them to sit him in the Cleveland game and play him against Miami, and they did the exact opposite.
Yeah, yeah, and I was like, okay, so this was the first time that they've kind of tipped their hand that this is going to be a strategic, looking forward to the draft picks strategy as far as the roster goes. And the kids were like, nope, start back the draft pick, bro. I don't. Basically, Shea and Dort have some sort of vendetta against Cade Cunningham and Jonathan Kuminga.
Totally, and these bench guys, like they're like, oh, you guys want to draft our replacements? Yeah. Watch this. Kenny Hustle and Ty Jerome out here just balling. Like they're playing so well, and we talked about it so many times. If the bench is going to play well, then they're going to be in just about every game. They're going to have to. It'll be the elite teams that they still can't play with when the bench plays well. They're too good of a starting unit, especially the way Roby's playing. Like they're all playing very well. Dort's shooting the ball well again. So you mentioned Denver. This will be the third meeting between these two teams this year. Oklahoma City, the first time was back on January 19th. They played, and Oklahoma City was 6-6 going into that game. They lost by 18, and then they lost by 2 at Denver just about 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, and I believe that was also on the back-to-back.
I think
the at Denver game, part of the road trip, part of the West Coast trip. So we'll see if it's tough to beat the same team three times in a row. That's what they say. So we'll see if Oklahoma City can get a dub tomorrow night as well. What did you hear post game about the jersey swap?
Yeah, so basically, I actually heard personally from a Thunder rep that it should have been noticed by the NBA, by the league itself, the orange and red combo, but it wasn't. So it was actually Atlanta should have been wearing a white jersey tonight, but they didn't pack them for the road trip. So the league asked the Thunder if they would change jerseys, and the Thunder complied, of course, and they did it. But as far as the funniest thing I thought was Kenrich Williams was asked about it, and he's like, oh, yeah, it made a difference. You look at a guy and you're like, oh, wait, no, that's not my teammate. So, if you're not sure who to pass it to or not, I would say that would probably affect your game. The Thunder should have they should have not complied, and maybe that would have got them a loss tonight.
So, how did it look in person? Because on TV, like it just didn't look good. Like the colors are so similar that it didn't look good. It didn't necessarily keep me from knowing who was on what team, but it didn't look good. How did it look in the arena?
Okay, well, mine is skewed because I'm colorblind.
Oh wow! So that's even more so. Like what? How was that?
Yeah, so even more so for me, probably the most people. I think actually it was probably better in person because TV tends to blur things together a little bit more, anyways, as far as shades and things go. From what people have told me, again, this is from a colorblind point of view. You're asking the wrong person, but from what I saw, yeah, it was difficult to tell. I knew who was who just because I've seen these guys play before, and the ones. Basically, it was the ones that kept putting the ball in the basket. I was like, oh, that's a Thunder player. The one that kept bricking things, I was like, oh, that's a Hawk. That's how I could tell the difference tonight.
I saw somebody say, I think it was Justin said said Trey was building his parents a new home in Oklahoma
awesome.
City.
That's awesome.
I hope that was him. I may have to go back and give credit later on, but that was hysterical. Yeah, so Oklahoma City gets another win, an impressive win for them. They're back on the floor tomorrow night in Oklahoma City. That'll be the third game on this 4-game homestand. Let me check the time of the game. I believe it's 8 o'clock Eastern. Yes, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock local time, and we'll be back tomorrow night. Brandon, are you going to the game tomorrow night as well?
I'm going to the game tomorrow night as well. Yes, I am.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's going to be good. Hey, one last bit of good news, though. It looks like the Warriors are winning again. And so the Thunder may, the Thunder's best draft pick this year may end up being that Warriors one to get from Uber. We'll see.
It's so sad to think about that, but you're exactly right. And that is a little bit of good news. We needed a little bit after the Rockets lost, the Pistons lost, the Heat win over the Jazz.
Golly.
And then the Bulls lost, the Grizzlies. It was a rough night for Team Tank. But thank you for ending us on a positive note. The Warriors, they do look like they're going to get a win at home tonight, and the more every single Warriors win is a good thing for Oklahoma City. Keep getting another pick. So we will wrap it there. Brandon, thank you for your for being on tonight and for the fact that you did this literally while driving home. I hope WandaVision blows your socks off because it did mine.
Nice. That's good to hear.
Oh, and don't miss the post-credit scene.
Oh, good to know. Sweet.
Yeah,
I'm pretty pumped, man.
There's one of those. It's quite fun. All right. So we will wrap it there. Thunder fans, thank you for listening to the Daily Thunder podcast. We will be back tomorrow night.